If you had to think of one NHL player you'd most likely like to punch in the face given the opportunity, who comes to mind? I feel like most of you that aren't Boston fans probably first thought of this guy right here. Little Ball of Hate, Nose Face Killer, the Rat, formerly known as Brad Marchand. In this video, I'm going to attempt to answer why most NHL fans tend to despise Marchand more than most. And with that, here are the top 5 reasons why people hate Brad Marchand. If you were tuned into hockey last postseason, then you most likely remember the incident that took place between Cam Atkinson and Brad Marchand in the overtime period of the first game of the second round. Marchand, while being Marchand, took it upon himself to stomp on Atkinson's stick while the official's back was turned. Later, while being questioned about the incident by Sportsnet's own Kyle Bukauskas, before the puck was dropped for Game 2, Marchand apparently took exception after being asked if he was able to get his skate sharpened. Following the game during post-game interviews, Marchand continued to be a man of very few words for once and appeared to be tight-lipped. Even though it's apparent that reporters can be pretty annoying from time to time in their own right, this behavior wasn't a good look for Marchand's image. But yeah, it was still pretty funny.
Do you have a bet on how few words you're going to say in this? Maybe.
Can you please take this moment to say hello to your haters?
Hey guys, love you, miss you. Thanks for being here.
One guy that definitely has mastered the art of indulging in the distaste he's experienced over the years from spectators, Marchand has found a way to bask in the hate. The best example of this took place during the 2018 NHL All-Star Game. Marchand, who was serving a suspension at the time, instantly became the front and center villain during the festivities. But instead of shying away from the role, he decided to embrace it. From posing for pictures in front of a post that said, "Exterminate the Rat," to blowing kisses and waving to the crowd, to taking an obvious dive while embellishing to top it off. Marchand proved that he not only doesn't care that he's at the top of most NHL fans' hate lists, but also let it be known that he also relishes in the fact at the same time. Possibly the best in the league when it comes to chirping, Marchand has mastered the art of getting under his opponent's skin. And one of those tools that he uses to do so is saying whatever it takes to get guys off their game and baiting them to take penalties.
I'll sign a stick over, is that what he just said?
One of the best examples of this took place during the Eastern Conference Finals. Marchand, who was able to get a stick in on Williams uncalled, continued to jaw back and forth with the captain at the time until he was caught red-handed by the officials retaliating. Marchand continued to mock Williams, who was sent to the box for 2 minutes, while Marchand evaded any punishment. Like I mentioned before, Boston's Little Ball of Hate will do just about anything and everything he can do to make his opponents hate him, and he did just that during the postseason of 2018. It all started with Leo Komarov in round 1 and escalated with Ryan Callahan by the 3rd round. Marchand claimed that with the first victim, he thought that Komarov just wanted to cuddle.
You know, he was getting so close to me that I thought we were building a connection. I obviously read it the wrong way, and he shut me down pretty quick before he had a wife and kids.
Callahan, however, didn't feel the same way, as the forward, when questioned on the incident, said, "I don't know if there's any discipline for spitting in someone's face, but for me, it's worse. It's not the same." Regardless, for future opponents' sake and much of the angered NHL community's satisfaction, the league readily addressed the unsavory acts and threatened that any future licking would be met with consequences. Long before Marchand's displays of on-ice affection, he was already very well known to the NHL Department of Player Safety, for other reasons entirely. As Marchand, who actually doesn't have the current repeat offender status, was once easily the most frequently suspended player in the league. Why? Let's see. Slew-footing, elbowing, sucker punching, spearing, you name it. Marchand was getting to know George Parros very well. Besides the 6 separate suspensions given, he also has paid his fair share of around $24,000 in fines. And sure, players mess up, they make mistakes, but for a long time, Marchand was known around the league as a player that completely disregarded the safety of his opponents, due to his consistent carelessness on ice. Regardless, Marchand, who hasn't been suspended since the 2017-18 season, has managed to clean up his act, but still not his image entirely.